Good, man. First off, I just want to say that there's nothing proper on a podcast when I'm involved.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, man. Happy to be here. Honored, just stoked to talk indie games with you guys. Oh, no. Proper. See? Proper.
I think it'll come through now, yeah. I'm so sorry, guys. You can probably hear me now. Just let me know, can you hear me, guys? Because I've just done a lengthy intro and totally ruined it by OBS totally defaulting to default. There you go. I'm so sorry, guys. Can you hear me now? And then we'll proceed. Just let me know if you can hear me in the chat now. That'd be much appreciated. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Okay, we are going to get this started over again. I was going to say thank you so much, everyone who's joined us. We're going live on this fine Saturday for the Indie Games Podcast, the first official kind of show I'm feeling it is, because the first show we did a little around a month ago was kind of a test show for what we're getting the feels out there for what we might do with the Indie Games Podcast, see how it went down, and the reception for it was absolutely awesome. It was massively appreciated, all the kind words that you sent out to us for the podcast, and it just made us feel great, and I felt that it was the only option was to carry it on and enjoy some awesome indie games goodness with you guys on the regular basis. So that's essentially what we're doing. I've said that twice now, so I apologize if that wasn't quite as fresh for you, but yeah, today we're going to be going on the regular now on the monthly basis with the Indie Games Podcast. And thank you so much everyone who has dropped by to join us, even though I've done that intro twice. It's all good. I've got some awesome guests to join me today. Fastback will be joining us a little bit later, I think. He's arriving on the late train again, but I've also got my man Coop by my side, which is cool, and he will be here on the regular now too as a panel member, which I'm awesomely pleased about. It's a pleasure to have Coop by my side for a regular basis. Hopefully it will be Fastback too on the regular. He has accepted the offer, so it will be the three amigos going forward with some guests each week. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone who's popped in. I'm just going to go through the guests first, and I'm going to shout out the chat after that. So firstly, I just want to introduce Coop to everyone. Everyone, you probably know Coop, but he's going to be my main man at my side. So how you doing, Coop, brother?
Good. Back again.
Yeah.
Man, it's
deja vu, man.
Only 10 minutes ago.
Oh my god, what a shock. What a shocking start to the show. That's funny because I knew what that would be once I tried that, and I saw my reading wasn't up, and no one could hear me because it happened on the other day as well, which was weird. It's defaulting to another setting, which is not letting the mic through, but I'm sorry about that. But now we are getting going. It's a relief. So but yeah, like I say, it's an honor to have you on the regular, my friend, because I know you love your indie games just like myself, and being able to have someone at my side on the regular means a lot, and you are an awesome friend as well. So thanks for accepting that offer, buddy. I look forward to all we have in store going forward. So how have you been?
Huge honor for me, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend. That's
been good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm busy, but gotten a little game in here and there. So
awesome stuff, buddy. Ready. That's great to hear. Yeah, that's good. It's good for the soul, bit of gaming. and going on from there, we've got a couple of special guests for the first time, as we'll be doing special guests each month with, as I say, Coop and Fastback as the basis of the panel, with a couple of special guests each month. And the first special guest we've got for you today is a fantastic up-and-coming YouTube star, in my opinion. His channel is blowing up as we very speak now. It's he will be leaving me for dust no time at all with his sub count, I'm sure of that. But yeah. But if you haven't checked out Archimedes already, his channel is superb, excellent, down to earth gaming news, always speaks facts, and very positive as well. And I'd like to introduce Archimedes to the panel, to the guest panel today. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic, Indy. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm really, really glad to be here. Usually I'm on other podcasts talking to typical double, triple A topics, and I'm really looking forward to talk some indie games.
Awesome, my friend. No, that's great. That's awesome to hear because, there's obviously other podcasts focused on other areas, but we're going to do something a little different over here. So it'll be interesting to hear your takes on indie stuff too. And I know you're a gamer who has an open mind, so I'm sure you will have some good indie takes too, my friend. But thanks for accepting the invite, buddy.
No, thanks again for having me.
Good stuff. Cool. And moving on from there, we have a good friend of mine who I speak to on the regular in DMs, who is a big part of the BG4GHub.com website, which is doing awesome things. He is one of the 3 members of that who keep things running and deliver awesome content on a daily basis. Thom Wilde will be joining us, and it's a pleasure to have you, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you for inviting me. And of course, how could I, put down an invite from you, the Indie Gamer on the Indie Gamer podcast? And we're getting this up and running, and we're off to a great start with great topics. I'm seriously looking forward to this. Yes, I'll do a cheap little plug of my own. The BG4GHub.com oh God, I can't even do my own plug right now. The link is in the description down below. Please feel free. Thank you ever so much.
Excellent stuff, my friend. Yeah, all the links to everyone's info will be in the description below, and some of it on the screen too. For today's guests and panel too. So yeah, if you want to check those guys out, I highly recommend you do check out our BG4G Hub and also Archimedes channel, which is awesome. He's moving towards that 1K at a swift rate, so check him out if you haven't already. But yeah, I thought so we've got some good topics to be getting into today, guys. There's been a lot going on in the world of indie over the last few weeks, so I'll be looking forward to getting into that stuff. But I firstly wanted to shout out the guys in the chat, because you make this all worthwhile. It means the world that you come out and check out this podcast of ours. It's an amazing thing, because this podcast will be just us talking in a room without anybody to hear it if it wasn't for you guys making it come alive. So thank you very much for coming out to check it out. So I want to shout out Stubbs Gaming. Great to see you, Stubbsy bro. Judzilla, awesome to see you, buddy. Mike from NLG is in the house representing for Fastback while he's not here, although Cooper's doing that for him as well. We got Fugly in the house. How you doing, my friend? Xbot448, awesome to see you, buddy. It's a pleasure to see you in the chat, my friend. Thanks for coming out. And let's zoom up a little bit. And we've got Archimedes in the chat too. So that's everyone for now. But yeah, thanks guys for popping in. And Mast Mayhem's just popped in. Thanks for popping in, Mast. It's awesome to see you, buddy. We're going to get into the start of this podcast. As I say, hopefully Fastback will join us at some point. But yeah, lots been going on recently. I think the best place we're going to start off today is with some of that Xbox demo event goodness, which was a big deal over kind of like the last, I think it was the 21st to the 27th it took place. I don't know if any guys in the chat checked out the demos in that event. There was like 70 plus demos to check out, indie game goodness of those. And yeah, we're going to dive into a bit of that today. Don't worry if you haven't checked out much of that stuff, anyone on the panel, but it's we're going to dive into it and make it a start from there. I've also got some gameplay of that stuff too, which you can look at too. So I'm just going to pull that up. But I thought maybe if we start off with, let's start off with Coop on this one. Did you check out any of the demos from the Xbox demo event, my friend? Was there any games that you checked out or that caught your interest?
Well, there's games that definitely caught my interest, but no, I mean, I'm not a big demo person. I used to be like, younger when I couldn't afford to buy games. Now it's like if I see a game, kind of have that luxury of just buy it, or watch it on YouTube. The demos, I don't know, the little teasers. If it's you know, I don't do demos too much. I mean, I definitely had.
You prefer the fresh
there was-
feeling when you play the game for real, is it? Or
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I'll watch a trailer and, you know, if it looks interesting, I'll grab it. But I rarely will down. You know, even betas. I mean, even kind of skeptical on betas, just because I feel like it's you know, sort of a little teaser of a game. I want to wait for the finished product and you know, to really get into it. You get a beta, and if it's like a multiplayer or something where you're just playing with your friends, but if it's like a campaign or if it's more of a platform or something that, you know, I mean, you know, going to like PAX West or something like that, you jump in, and then you get the experience of being able to talk to the developer or something like that. It's a little different experience, but yeah, just downloading demos or betas.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, my friend. No problem at all. Yeah. So, was there any games that you saw in the list that caught your eye or anything like that in particular, or was?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That Ars Fabulae. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know if you saw that one. It's got that really beautiful sort of they call it hand painted
Nice
art style.
I don't think I saw that one actually. Ars Fabulae.
Yeah,
I don't think I did.
like a action puzzler. Kind of looks weird. It's got some like set in some sort of theater setting, or I don't know. It's kind of looks. I'll definitely be grabbing that game. You know, that's
Nice.
one that just from the.
I'll tell you a game.
certain-
I'll tell you a game you do know about that you have played that was in the demo event, and that's De-Leveled. I played that myself. What did you think about that game yourself when you played it? I thought it was a really cool game actually.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, that was one that, you know, speaking of PAX West, that was one that they had there.
Yeah.
And they had like five levels.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I think he was saying he was, you know, aiming towards like having 200 or so, and even adding more later on. And yeah, just a fun, casual, little puzzle game.
Most
But
definitely.
really unique, you know, really new kind of unique puzzler.
Yeah, because it's so simple as well, isn't it? It's just clever. I have got some gameplay in there somewhere on this reel, but we'll pop up later. We'll just let that roll, I think. What you're looking at the moment is 9 Monkeys of Shaolin as well, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But yeah. De-Leveled is a kind of like physics sort of puzzle game, isn't it? Which is really, really cool. Sort of, it kind of so simple. You kind of look at it and think that's not much, but then when you play it, it's actually cleverly designed, and it's got kind of like retro kind of sort of styling to it as well, which is simplistic but clever and cool. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. Like some gameplay coming up in a bit. I've tried to there's some of the bits I get stuck a little bit on, but it can be a bit of a brain teaser. But it's it's a good fun game, that definitely. That
was a really nice, really neat guy, the developer that was working on that.
Yeah, I saw an interview with him. Yeah, so you spoke to the actual developer guy, was it? Nice, because it's a very small team as well on that one, isn't it? I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
that was a neat one. Projection,
First Light. That's coming up after this game, the gameplay of 9 Monkeys of Shaolin. Yeah, Projection, First Light, isn't it? That looks really cool. Yeah. Definitely, like that was a Skatebird. Of course, you've played that. Yep.
A long time ago. Yep.
Definitely, Skatebird's looking good. It's coming together. They've added on a bit of development time. I think they've delayed it a little bit, so that's good though, in my opinion, because make it a better game and iron out those. It was a little bit buggy at first, when it seems a lot more sturdy now though. But yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's a lot of good skate games coming up. You know, there's been
the other one. There was a Skate Pixel or Pixel. What was the other one? There was another.
Oh yeah, the 2D one. Is that it? Is that the 2D side on one? Yeah. And there's Skate Story. You see Skate Story? Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
You're kind of like this metallic sort of man, and you're going. It's kind of like there's like elements where you get attacked and stuff. It's weird. It's really bizarre actually. But the actual skating looks really good. Like you're like a sort of like T-1000 or whatever it is from Terminator, if you know what I mean. And you're like skating along through this sort of like underworld, which is kind of like dark and gritty. but you're doing cool skate tricks to get through the levels. It's strange as anything, I'll tell you, but it's really good and it looks solid with the gameplay. Definitely, yeah.
Well, that's like that Pixel Skater or whatever. That one has sort of a platforming element to it.
Cool,
like
nice.
Comments and
that's
jump
cool.
out.
That sounds good.
Interesting too.
Yeah, it's good when they blend.
There was also this chicken skating game. What was it called? I'm blanking on it. Where you play a chicken on a skateboard. That was actually fun.
Really nice, nice. Was that? I think I saw that. Was it up the top of the list of the demos on? I think I think I remember seeing that one. I was like, what's that?
I'm blanking on the name right now, but someone on Twitter recommended it to me, and
you were all over that, my friend. You were like, chickens. I'm all over that.
It was actually fun. Skateboard in chat. Mask.
Yes. Yeah, right. Skateboard is the one that we were talking a second ago. Yeah, with the birds. Yeah, definitely. But I think there was a chicken game in that list as well. I remember seeing it. It was like I didn't know if it was a skate one, but yeah, like there is some cool skate games coming up. What's the other one? There's not so much skate, but it's called Wave Break. It's kind of like you're on a sort of like I think you're on like a sort of what are you on? And you're kind of it's kind of like Wave Race, but you're doing stunts all around the place. It's actually on Stadia at the moment. It's going to be coming to consoles later. It's called Wave Break. It looks really, really fun. It's weird. Again, it's got like stunts, but you can also shoot things and stuff. It's kind of craziness, but that's the thing with indies. They don't care about doing things which are a little bit crazy, which I like.
That's beauty.
Yeah. So how about yourself, Archimedes? What games did you check out in the event, my friend?
Oh, a bunch of them. I was really jumping in between, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 of the demos. But before I touch on that, can I say one thing? I really want to applaud Microsoft for doing this.
Oh,
because
definitely.
It is an absolutely fantastic move. I was so surprised that basically no media outlets were talking about this. And I think it was one of the most consumer-friendly and gamer-friendly moves we have seen in a while. I was transferred back to my youth. You remember the times when we had magazines and demo discs in magazines?
Yeah, I do remember those times, so sadly. Yeah, definitely.
And when we couldn't afford games, those were like, man, you couldn't wait for those every month. Those.
Yeah,
most definitely.
And it reminded me of that. It was just a fun week. Where I got a lot of recommendations then on Twitter. You have to try this or that, and it was just awesome. So yeah, what did I play and what stood out to me? I think one of the biggest surprises for me was a game called Night Squad 2. I don't know if you played it.
No, I didn't play that one actually. No, definitely be interested to hear about it though.
It is it reminded me a little bit of Bomberman.
Okay, cool.
But
I do know the game you mean. Actually, I know the game you mean. It's 8-player, isn't it?
Yes, it is 8-player, but you can also play against AI, and it was actually still fun if you played it just with AI.
Nice, yeah.
And they had 3 different modes. One mode was very similar to Bomberman, but then they had mixed it up. There was a battle royale mode, and but with a unique take. And that was actually a very fun game, and I was really surprised about how good it ran. Also, when you played it online with matchmaking and everything.
Awesome. So there was a multiplayer demo, was it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
This was then the game you are showing right now. I loved it.
I loved it too. It's a really good game. I thought. Yeah, but I had my eye on it for ages. Actually, I've been following it for quite a long time. I've shared it in a few of my videos, like in 2019 and stuff like that. But so when I saw the demo, I was like all over it straight away because they've been quite quiet recently. So it's quite cool to see it in this event.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminded me a little bit of the old Turtles game on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Turtles in Time, you mean? Is that the one? Yeah, I think that's. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I think it's either 2 or 4 players as well, so that's even more similar to it. If that's that'd be a lot of fun. I think it might be 2-player. I'm not sure. It might be 4. But yeah, I think there was a way you could actually do that in this demo. But I'm a loner, so
I played it solo too. So.
Yeah, I did really enjoy the gameplay, and the feel of it was really nicely done, I thought. And yeah, absolutely. I definitely enjoyed it.
Earlier this year, I played through Streets of Rage 4, and this was exactly that kind of vein. So
yes, exactly. It's good to see games like that they're coming out, because there is a sort of gap in the market for them. I think people are crying out for them quite a bit. So really good to see them. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then of course the big one was Destroy All Humans.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. I remember playing the original back in the day. I didn't play this demo though, but how was it?
Yeah, awesome. I immediately bought the game.
Nice.
I remember playing it too back in the day, but I didn't really remember it fondly, or I don't know. But when I played the demo, I had to laugh so hard. It's probably the most funniest game I have ever played.
Yes, I know what you mean. That was always the attraction to it. I think the humor is so well done, and they've kept the same voice acting, haven't they? I think from the original, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still got that.
I heard too. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah, I bought that directly, so that means I definitely enjoyed it. Hellpoint was also very well done.
Yes, another one. Excellent. Yeah, that's kind of like a Dark. Is it a bit Dark Soulsy, or?
Yes, the combat at least is a little bit Dark Soulsy. Not as hard as Dark Souls, but definitely in that kind of area.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So. There were quite a few games I really enjoyed last week.
Yeah, it is awesome to see them doing this, really, because, I mean, obviously this kind of thing has been done a fair bit already on Steam and stuff, but it's more of an open kind of thing, and the area, development's done through PC, and it's more, readily done on PC, so I think it's kind of unusual. It's a kind of a first to see a demo event like this on Xbox, and there's no reason why it can't happen. Like, I think it's... they've kind of opened the door to it, so I definitely agree with your point earlier. Really, really well said. I think it's nice to see them doing this sort of stuff too, especially in these times, because like games aren't getting shown on show floors at PAX or anything like that at the moment, because there's no PAX to go to.
No games come here for German.
Yep, exactly. That's coming up quite soon as well, isn't it? Which is cool. But they are doing the digital one, aren't they? They're doing the online
just Gamescom. The digital one. It's also cancelled.
Yeah, hopefully they'll do maybe some demos for that as well. But yeah, was there any others at all you checked out, or was that about the majority of them that you can remember?
Those were definitely the highlights. There were a couple of others. I'm blanking on the name. It was a Starfighter game, but it had so many bugs. It crashed like, I don't know, 3-4 times in 15 minutes. So
sure, yeah, that's the thing we have to remember as well. Obviously, they're in production games. Obviously, crashing it's not ideal, but that's definitely not ideal. But
I tweeted at some of the devs, for instance, from Night Sword 2. I had 1 or 2 minor issues with the game, and so I tweeted at them. And I was really surprised by how happy they were to get some sort of feedback, because obviously the devs also are missing the show floor demos and getting direct feedback from people playing the game.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
And so that was really, really cool to see how they responded. And some of them wrote me then on DM after I tweeted at them that they are really happy that I gave them feedback. So I think it was a fantastic week.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's like Coop said before, and myself has said quite a lot about. We really enjoy that interaction with the developers and stuff. Like when we've been to events and things, and just in general, like over like just Twitter and stuff. It's like that. Most of the time, they'll be really receptive to comments and stuff and hearing all about it. So it's I love that part of indie gaming in general and indie development and stuff like that, that they are, they're very accessible to chat to, and they want feedback on their game, and they might even implement ideas that if you had a good idea, they might even, do something with it. You know what I mean? It's super cool, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
That's awesome, buddy. Cool, nice. Thom Wilde, I don't know if you got much of a chance to check out any of these demos, did you, if I'm not mistaken?
Before I get into that, I'll just quickly reiterate what Archimedes says. Very, very smart for Microsoft to do this, especially in these troubling times. And with everything that we usually come to expect at this time of the year, just been cancelled and everything. So, I mean, this was something to make up for that. And for a load of people, I believe it delivered. And heck, maybe something like a massive demo event with, this amount of games. Maybe it'll be an annual thing. I know I would like to. I mean, because I actually missed this week. As I told you yesterday.
You're a busy boy.
I was busy. Well, the first half, I actually had a migraine, so I couldn't even look at my phone without feeling sick throughout the first half of the week.
So, I remember you saying, yeah.
So that was that. But then I'm going to blame the migraine here. I completely forgot the event was on, and I completely didn't install anything. So I actually missed out on the whole thing. And then I was too busy. I know.
It's so good.
I was too busy trying to think of things for BG4G as well. So. Lesson there. If there's something on for a limited amount of time, check it out for Christ's sake. But if I have to say one thing which really caught my eye, for me, I like my games to be more of an experience type thing.
Yes.
Hence why I like the solo story type, solo story campaign type of games. And I'm really and something that presents something different as well. And I really liked the concept of the veil, the shadow of the crown. Has any of you?
Oh, the game where it's all just your hearing senses. Is there any visuals? It's about
no. It's I was contemplating whether I'd say that I'd go for that for my standout game because of the visuals. But, I mean, the joke there is that there isn't any.
Yeah.
No, because you're blind. As far as I know from what I've seen, it's just literally a black screen with some things flying around. Very artsy. Nothing actually there, and you'd have to use 3D audio. I mean, obviously with headset and everything, and then you got to walk, you got to listen. Something like that just sounds phenomenal to me. I'm kicking myself the fact that I haven't had a chance because of reasons to not play that. And of course, there was other games there which I would love to check out.
Definitely.
But for that one, just for sheer uniqueness.
Exactly.
Because I think that would be a massive challenge. I think that would be a definite. I don't know if it'll be a first day buy for me, but
it's super clever. It's super interesting, isn't it? I mean, especially like for people who haven't got a site. So like that's really interesting for them, but it's also interesting for everyone. It's kind of a very cool idea, I think. But
life lesson.
Yeah, that's all good. Don't worry that you missed them. That's there was a lot of clever games like the one we're watching on the screen. I don't know if you're looking at your screen, but like First Light Projection, which is super cool. Like you control the sort of the orb of light, which is floating with the right stick, and you move it to cast the shadow so that you can move through the level. You could probably work that out already if you were watching it, but it's just interesting. It's got a lot of potential. I think you move it to cast the shadow of where the light would come in the right way, so you can walk up the platforms. I think it's nice, and it's the cool art style as well, with the sort of like the theatre, the shadow theatre, or whatever they call it. There's me failing there, just falling off. But yeah, that's cool. I just like the idea. So it's cool. I mean, a couple of games I checked out. You're looking at right now, obviously from the demo event. Let me know in the chat, guys, what you checked out. Was there any gems that you saw in there? I played Raji and Ancient Epic as well, which is also it's kind of like. Funnily enough, the Raji Ancient Epic cutscenes are similar to what this game looks like in a way, which is quite interesting. But yeah, it's that's a cool game. I've actually got a stream of that on the channel where I streamed it from the Steam Festival, which is if you wanted to check that out. But Raji was a really good game. I think that's got a ton of potential. It's going to be a really nice game.
I'll ask you a question. Then. Any of these, obviously. Any of these games would you consider to be a disappointment for you? Was you expecting any of these games? I'm going off the cuff right here, but I just wondered if any of these games, you were thinking this is going to be amazing, and it just turned out to be a disappointment or a flop in any way. So I'm just curious if there was any which didn't live up to any expectations for you.
I don't want to sound too obvious, but like I actually enjoyed all of them. I usually will put the critique when it's due, but wasn't really disappointed with any of the ones I played, to be honest with you. The problem is I kind of knew a lot about the games before, so I got an inkling of what they were about, if you know what I mean. I didn't really play any. Well, I did play some that I didn't really know about, but most of the time it was kind of like I'd seen the trailers of the games and sort of heard of them before, if you see what I mean. So I kind of got an idea of if I would like that kind of style of game. But it's cool to just dive in and download things you've never even heard of too, which is great. But I wanted to formulate. I knew some of my best. I wanted to sort of make them for the gameplay we're looking at the moment, if you see what I mean. So I kind of fail-safed myself in a way on that, if you know what I mean. But I know what you mean. I'm sure there were some more disappointing ones for some people in there who had downloaded them, but like I say, I sort of tailor picked the ones I thought I would dig, if you see what I mean. But yeah,
so many.
Just before the chat runs away too far, because I haven't shouted out any of the new people who've just popped in. I just want to make sure I do that because you guys rock big time. I just want to shout out UK Dazarus, thanks for popping in, bro. Really appreciate it. And ACS Husk, thank you so much for popping in, buddy. I really appreciate you popping in, my friend, because it was an awesome time chatting with you on the creator feature. And thanks so much for having me on that again, buddy. It's awesome time. And I want to shout out VJ as well, who is a very keen indie fan, and it's been good chatting to you in the DMs as well, my friend. Feel free to DM me anytime you like, anyone. It's nice having those conversations. But yeah, good to see you in the chat, VJ. And yeah, everyone else, thank you very much for popping in once again, like Xbot and all you guys, you rock big time. So yeah, was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about the event in general?
Make it annual.
yeah.
Longer, 2 weeks.
That's the thing,
Yeah. 2 weeks as well.
I mean, the thing is as well, guys, if you've downloaded any of those, demos, they are still playable. This is a thing that a lot of people didn't realize. Probably they thought it was 21st to the 27th, and you can play it within those time scale. But if you downloaded the demo within that time, you can actually still play it now, if I'm not mistaken. So if you have
really, I tried booting up the Shaolin game yesterday, and it didn't work.
Oh, really? Okay, maybe it's some games are and some games aren't. Because I tried one game and another guy who I speak to quite regularly, True Gamer, who might pop in a bit potentially. I think he said he was able to play some. Maybe certain games have been pulled then, and some are still available too. But yeah, like with a lot
of those are on Steam as well.
Sorry,
those demos are.
Yeah,
a lot of those demos
exactly
are on Steam.
That's exactly right. Yeah, like that's why I didn't check out Skatebird in this Xbox One and stuff, because I'd already done it on Steam and that. But yeah, there's you can always usually find that kind of thing over there if you did want it. But it's good to see the consoles being opened up to demo stuff as well. What do you think about if there was more of a sort of like consistent thing, if they had demos like that all the time? Would you say, like, would you feel like that was a better way, or do you think the time scaled sort of way of doing things is better?
Oh, I would prefer the timed thing, because if you have demos up there, they just go under. But if you have them in 1 or maybe 2 weeks, I'm with Tom there. 2 weeks would be a bit better, because, well, a lot of other things happened also last week.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it was a busy time, wasn't it?
Exactly. So 1 week was a little short, because after the Xbox event, for instance, for me, just I did directly my video, I was in a podcast and so on, and then I didn't get to play the whole week the games, just the first 3 or 4 days. So I would love that to be 2 weeks too, but it gives it a bit more of an event character, and that way you are more likely to try out the demos, I think.
Yeah, condensed time, and then you get on it, if you see what I mean. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, you're going to say something?
Everybody is talking about it, and you get the recommendations, and so that was really the cool thing about it. Yeah, and if you just have them up all the time, I think the conversation wouldn't be there.
It wouldn't be as intense. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like, because it would just, some people talking about it, and then some people, it's not bringing it together as an event. It kind of like the reason sort of E3 isn't as powerful this year, that kind of thing. It's all been spread out a lot, hasn't it? If when it's E3, it's sort of like huge, isn't it? Like, it's all like, you don't know where the news is, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Then, Archimedes, I almost interrupted you then. But for me, what I do is that, I mean, there was a massive amount, of games there. 2 weeks, brilliant. But what I do is that I would cut the game list by half. Have one half for the first week, and then one half for the second week.
That makes sense. Yeah,
I think that would probably give people more time to play a select few. Because I don't know. Obviously, for me, it's games and stuff like this. When you get a massive selection of things, you're a bit overwhelmed. Now, I think if I actually sat down and was trying to check out all these games before downloading and then playing them, it'll take up so much time, and it'll be like, oh, which one sounds more interesting? And I don't think that I would be able to get a good grips on the chunk of games that were available. So if you had half of the first week, half of the second week, take me less time to check them all out, and less time to see what's available, and then more time to actually fully go in depth in the games themselves. But I'd go that route.
Definitely, I know that makes sense. It's all about making it more condensed and like focused on that sort of set of games. I think that people draw their attention to at that time, as you shout out about it, like, and stuff like that, promote it heavily, and then people can check it out. Oh, this game come up on the screens reminding me, it was so much fun. I don't know if it's your sort of game, guys, but you've got to check this game out. Cake Bash is awesome. It's actually, it's probably one of my favourite games that I played in this demo event, if I'm honest. I had played it at EGX before, but it sort of, I didn't.
Is this Hungry Hippos?
Kind of, yeah. It honestly is so much fun. It's kind of like, I think it will be like the new Overcooked or something like that. But basically, you just play. You can customize yourself as a whatever cake you want to do, thing like that, like customizable character. And then they have these mini games that you play. This particular one is you've got to try and get as many sweets on you as possible, and at the top is how much you've collected, kind of thing. I'm actually playing this with my wife at the moment. She's player 2, just so you know. This one's a draw, actually, I think. But yeah, no, it's cool. You just run around and you collect up the sweets by running into them, and you can hit each other to bash the sweets off of each other, and it's just so much fun, simple and really cool, a nice like art design, I think, and stuff like that. But I love little games like this, 4-player. We're playing against 2 computer bots, so yeah, we didn't want to get beaten by them. But yeah, there's some cool. There's one called Fork Knife Gateau Royale. I just think it's genius. Yeah, it's just
is it already out, or is it still in there?
It's not out yet. It's coming. I think it's coming this year, actually. So yeah, hopefully it'll make it out. But I just think it's really, really cool. It's a fun game. I don't know if you guys play this sort of stuff. I mean, I think Tom does. I have a feeling he likes this sort of thing.
Oh yeah. This type of stuff is right on my street, along with deep. Obviously I do like the deep, in-depth story things, but every now and again, you want to have a cake, run around the table, and like jelly babies and stuff,
Yeah, you definitely do. Yeah, it's just like like Mario Party kind of thing. Those kind of. You don't see many games like that anymore, really. I don't think. I just think the presentation's really nice. It feels like it's a finished game as well. This one, it's super nice. This one, you've got to run around, pick up the fruit, chuck it into the pie in the middle, and there's each raspberry is worth 1 point, but there's a gold raspberry every so often, and it's worth 10 points. So if you watch out for it in a minute, when the gold raspberry comes, everyone's just like smashing each other up for the gold one. It's just brilliant. I just think it's nicely done, fun, light-hearted game. But I know, Coop, you're into Fall Guys, so you're up for a bit of that. So you might be up for a bit of this kind of action. What do you reckon, brother?
Yeah. Oh yeah, any game you bashing around with your buddies looks like fun to me. So.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's a good one. I don't know whether many people would have checked it out, kind of thing. So it's,
probably not.
You know what I mean? Like, but it's just, I think it's just nicely done. It might just be me, but I just think it's
Just
a ton
the
of
title
fun.
alone, most people probably went,
Exactly.
"What?"
Yeah,
but
that's the thing.
I mean, looking at it looks great.
Yeah, it is a lot of nice look to it. But yeah, so no, anything else you guys wanted to say about the demo event before we move forward, or
I'm good.
you're all good?
I'm good.
Good stuff. Cool. So if we move on from there, let me just pull this. Yeah, like I say, Techno Fabulous John, how are you doing, buddy? Thanks for popping in. Awesome to see you. And what's up, Cali Rex? Great to see you too, bud. We really do massively appreciate everyone who is checking out this show. Your support means the world. So yeah, moving on to another big Xbox event recently, which I'm sure many of you guys will have been very aware of this time around, which was the Xbox Games Showcase. But we're going to be taking a little look at the going into the indie side of it. Many people have obviously checked out the Halo stuff and looked into that and discussed that at great length. But we obviously on the show we're talking about indie games, and there was some really cool ones on show, even though they were only up there for about 2 minutes, with a couple of other trailers scattered through the event. But the main sort of focus from the event was actually in the pre-show, which I was a little bit sad about myself, because I thought that the idea Xbox Reel could have been slotted into the main show personally, but it's only 2 minutes, sort of, like it could have easily been slotted in there in my opinion. Actually, before we just go into it, I was just curious to find out you guys' opinion on that. Where do you think it could have been slotted in on the main show? I mean, let's get a feel for the general feel. Then we'll dive into some deeper thoughts about the actual games we saw. So, did you enjoy the Idea Xbox coverage from the Xbox Games Showcase? And what did you think of the way they showed it? And we'll start with Coop, if that's all right. How would you feel, buddy?
No, I 100% agree. It should have, I mean, if you were just tuning in for the show when it started and you missed the pre-show, you didn't know, you missed the whole thing. And it, given the length of it, even, in the pre-show, they easily could have plugged that in the middle there.
Yeah, exactly, easily. Yeah, it is a shame, but that's what we're doing today. That's what we're here for today, is to try and bring a bit more light to it, if you know what I mean. Because I'm sure many people just watched the main show and didn't have any idea about it. That's why when I shared out that Song of Iron, I retweeted the tweet from the developer of Song of Iron, and that got a lot of likes, and loads of people were like, I didn't see this game. Do you know what I mean? I said it was like one of the highlights of the event for me, and they were like, I never saw it. So it's a real shame that it didn't actually get shown in the main show. But like I say, we're trying to make up for that a little bit now, and we get to see those little gems that maybe other people missed out and bring them to more people's attention. But so, did you enjoy what they showed though? What did you think?
Yeah, there's lake.
Yeah.
Did they show 12 minutes in the?
They certainly did.
I remember
yeah.
if that was the main show or it was in the.
Yeah,
that game I'm really.
Yeah, to give you a little reminder, just in case you need a refresh. So some of the games that they showed in the Idea Xbox Showcase was. Here's D-Level, by the way, guys, on the gameplay. We were talking about that earlier. It's the puzzle game. You might see my brain working a fair bit in this one when I fail to figure things out. But yeah, getting back to the Idea Xbox Showcase, so the games in the sizzle reel that they showed, some of them were Tunic, which was awesome to see Tunic come back. Obviously, loads of people longing to see that again. Fantastic looking Zelda-like game. Shredders, which was a cool snowboarding looking game. Not looking, just snowboarding. It's Artful Escape was back. Yeah, that looks cool. Shredders and Artful Escape was back. Awesome to see that back. 12 Minutes, Lake, Sable, not Fable. So maybe later though. Song of Iron, as I've spoke about earlier, and I did a little interview with the guy, a little cheeky plug there if you want to check that video out. I did an interview with the developer on the channel. XO1 was a kind of like cool sort of flying game, if you like. The Falconeer, which is another cool looking game. The Ascent, the I don't know if I've written that right. Oh yeah, sorry, I did write that right. The Big Con, which was the sort of like 80s kind of comic, sort of 80s sort of cartoonish sort of looking game. Yeah. And The Unexplored and Mad Streets. I don't know if that was every single one, but that's quite a good chunk of them that I noted down. Yeah, so pretty damn good selection of games, because a lot of those games were games I already had my eye on, to be honest. That was the only slight disappointment for me, that there wasn't more new ones, but I was so grateful to see things like Tunic and Artful Escape and 12 Minutes and Sable back, and the new games did look awesome too. Yeah, so what did you enjoy seeing in that list there, Coop?
Well, the one, I mean, like you say, a couple of those we already knew about, talked about in the last show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Falconeer is like top of my list. I love the dogfight, flight kind of games, and that
yeah,
was just a blast.
Really cool looking that game. Yeah.
Song of Iron, that I know that one's probably not going to be. You had a great show with the developer on that one, Joe, the other day. That was great, and that game I love the art style on that. It looks fun combat. And at Lake looks, isn't that the one where it's just kind of the casual?
Yeah, it's the one that the delivery simulator.
Yeah, exactly. But it looks like it's got some really funny characters, some kind of quirky characters.
It looks like it might be like kind of relaxing kind of feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love little games like that, that
definitely
you just kind of get into it and just relax, casual, kind of a fun little escape for. So yeah, that one looks fun, and it's set in Oregon. I live in Oregon.
Oh, nice! There you go. You might see you riding along on your bike in the back.
That's right.
Well, that might be one of the levels. Yeah. I hope they will now, because you get around in that bike, that's for sure. That's awesome. And yeah, shout out to Coop's channel, by the way. He does some awesome Rad Rover bike, electronic bike, which is super cool content. So check his channel out. You'll definitely won't regret it. But yeah, so yeah, like we said, there's quite a few we've seen before, but also at the same time, I feel good seeing Tunic pop up again, if you see what I mean, and things like that. It's just nice to sort of see, and that was some new gameplay.
I hadn't heard of that. I mean, I love, like, we were talking about skateboard games. I love snowboard games and stuff too.
Nice, yeah.
And I was so disappointed with Steep, that one from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah. It was frustrating.
There's something just bland about it, wasn't there? If you know what I mean, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
it wasn't exciting.
You didn't.
Yeah,
so,
what you want to be excited, but snowboarding should be like really out there, shouldn't it? And just like like really like fun.
Like crisp controls. You want sort of the cool borders.
You need an arcadic approach to those games, and Steve was trying to do so much simulation, and it got so complicated with the controls, and you just want to feel badass when you do the tricks there.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I was disappointed with that. I've got high hopes. I was surprised with that one. I saw it. It looks good, and yeah, hopefully, like you say, it's got that arcadey. I'm fine with arcadey controls and that type of game. So.
Yeah, that's the perfect fit, isn't it, for that kind of stuff? I'm just playing the trailer from the Idea Xbox in the background now, so if you wanted any memories being jarred for any of the games, you can check that on the screen as we talk about it. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I thought that Shredders looked really cool personally. It's just coming up right now, which is handy.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the controls.
Yeah, it will do. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the visuals are lovely as well, aren't they? Look at that, nice.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're kind of going for a fun feel, in my opinion. I mean, they're going for talk. I know it's hard to tell with what they said, but they're saying it's all about the shredding and stuff like that. So it feels like they got to focus on that kind of feel, if you know the feeling of the gameplay. Oh, Last Stop as well. I forgot to mention that. That's one of my favorite upcoming indie games, actually, which is coming from the developers who made Virginia, which looks really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so. Yeah, Last Stop is an interesting game. It's got like 3 different stories which interweave into like an interconnected narrative. It sounds pretty cool, I think. And I just kind of like that it's kind of set in London. It's kind of very London-y, if you know what I mean. I don't know, it feels like at home, but not that I live in London, but I live near it. But yeah, there's a ton of games in this showcase packed in. I mean, I could have just watched this, and I mean, I did enjoy the main showcase, obviously, but I would have taken this and been happy. That's just me, though, obviously. But yeah, what about you other guys? What did you? Who wants to take it first, Archimedes or Tom? What did you see that caught your eye?
I don't mind. Depends if Archimedes will go or do you want me to go?
Oh, Tom, please go first.
Okay, I agree with you with it needs to be on the main show. I mean, let's face it, indies are such a big thing about gaming nowadays. Not just Xbox. I mean, it's a big thing about Xbox, but indies in general. It's huge. And the fact that they delegate it down to the pre-show, I wouldn't necessarily say it's disrespectful, but, you know, as you say, a lot of people don't tune into the pre-show, maybe due because of time and everything. There are plenty of reasons, but it definitely deserves to be a focal point for the main show, and it's such a shame. So hopefully in the future, stuff like this, because a load of these games are beautiful. There is something for everyone, and that goes for the main show as well. But there's a massive variety there. There's a load of people interested in it once they know that there's games like this around. And there's quite a few here which have my eye. I put a little star on my little list here on all the ones which caught my eye. Last Stop, I like that. That looks pretty interesting. Lake as well. This, again, simplistic. And I like the fact that it is a walking simulator. There is a little story going around, and you got to like discover little things. I mean, that's kind of up my street as well. Song of Iron, again, phenomenal interview the other day, by the way, Indy.
Thank you. Good timing. It's just come up.
I was already interested, but the fact you hear that you know how he managed to build it all, it was brilliant. You want to buy more.
It looks fantastic. I think it has a mass appeal as well. I think it will appeal to a lot of people, even out of the indie sort of people who usually consider themselves indie fans. I think it'll appeal to all areas like AAA fans as well. I think it has that kind of look, which is awesome. We can show that's.
Yeah, my wife was looking at Song of Iron, and you know, she said, "Oh, that does look good," and she doesn't really play much.
Cool.
But yeah, another one which really caught my eye. 12 minutes, the one which makes you have to think.
Yes.
You know, reset thing. That just seems
the
like
time
it'll either
loop,
go.
yeah.
Oh yeah. It'll either go really well, and I'll really enjoy it, or the obvious thing keeps happening, and I know what I need to do in order to stop my death, shall we say, and I keep effing it up, and I get a rage quit.
Yeah.
And Matt in the chat knows a load about me rage quitting. No, I mean,
Love it.
It looks phenomenal. And I can't wait for that one. And then there's the big con. Now, I don't know why this one caught my eye. Maybe it's just the weird graphics and everything, or again, anything that's unique. It looks something which I'll particularly enjoy.
It's like an 80s cartoon, isn't it? You like the you know what I mean?
The background itself, when the dialogue is happening, looks like it'll give me another migraine. But hey,
it doesn't. Sure it's got those electric colours, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I know. Well, to be honest, the Artful Escape, I think that's what going on an acid trip.
That's probably the most on that regard. Yeah, that's definitely. Did you listen to this? I'm sure you listened to this trailer. Did you remember what the developer sounds like? He just sounds like he's so in the zone. You know what I mean? I've watched. He was actually, in case you didn't know, I think it's called Johnny Galvatron. I think he was in a band. He's Australian. He used to be in a band, and now he's actually making a game. Obviously, The Artful Escape, and he is totally a rock star making a video game. So it's you can see why it looks like what it does, if you see what I mean. And I think it's going to be really fun. It's going to be far out. I mean, it's definitely going to be far out, but in a good way. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm thinking it's not that far off, actually. I feel like we will get The Artful Escape this year for sure.
Well, now I know what an acid trip's like without harming myself.
Yeah.
And one of the other ones which caught my eye is the Mad Streets one. I don't know why. That one, it looks like Gang Beasts. As well as the game as well.
Definitely.
It looks like it'll be a good laugh.
Definitely,
And,
yeah. It's kind of like, clumsy sort of fighting action, isn't it? Which looks just pure, like, focused on fun again, and which is awesome. That's a game, actually, I caught my eye a while back as well. I sort of first noticed it, I think, on Twitter, and I've started following them. But yeah, it's good to see that they didn't have ID at Xbox at the time. They were just, here it is, Mad Streets on the screen. There's timing on this is beautiful. But yeah, so it just looks mad and like fun and like brazen kind of nuts craziness. You know what I mean? Which is
mental. So I mean, and it looks fun, and that's what I look for. What will give me fun? What will make this experience fun? And a load of these games, even the ones I didn't even list, a load of them looks like it'll be fun. So a good selection, and it definitely needed to be on the main show for sure.
Yes, well said, my friend. We're going to start a petition, I think, next time, make it on the main show. But it's all good. Yeah, good answers, good takes there, my friend. I like it. And Archimedes, what was your take, buddy?
Yeah, definitely it should be in the main show, especially considering how boring that pre-show was and how enthusiastic it was. It would have been great to see those really fantastic games in the main show where the excitement was. So yeah, there you already touched on most of my highlights as well. The Artful Escape, definitely. It looks just damn amazing. The Ascent, they have shown that game a little bit more intensive in the May event.
That's right, I remember. Yeah, that's right.
And it looks like a Diablo meets Cyberpunk kind of game.
It looks great. Looks very nice. Looks very nice visuals to it, and like they're blending genres a little bit, like you say. It's kind of like RPG elements, but it also a little bit of obviously an action focused as well, which it looks like a blast.
Absolutely. Then of course Song of Iron. You already touched on it. It
looks
is
good.
Probably the highlight and big surprise out of this trailer, the sizzle reel.
It's definitely came out of nowhere, hasn't it? Really, I mean, he did like have it. This is a kind of the big jump, I think, for his exposure wise. So it's awesome to see like so many people like really getting on board and loving it. It's I think he's great. He seems like a great guy from all I've spoken to him, and I think he's got something special with it. Yeah, definitely.
You've spoken to him because I have listened to the interview he gave to the Wandering Dutch on his channel. Very cool guy. It's a very unique take on things. Highly recommend to check some interviews out.
Did you? You must have missed my one then, because I did an interview with him.
Pardon me. I must have missed it.
That's no problem, my friend.
I'm definitely going to check that out then.
That's fine. No, I did one, but the last video I did was an interview with him, so it's really fun. I'm not trying to plug it. It's just but you don't feel like you have to check it out. But I'm just saying how it was nice speaking to him and his passion for the game. Yeah. Definitely, but don't feel like you have to check it out.
I would promise I will.
Looks great though. Yeah,
definitely. Of course, then Tunic, also going to be a fun game. With that, I hope it will release on the Switch as well, because that definitely looked like a Switch game to me.
A lot of people have been requesting that. I think I've noticed in the comments of when anything gets shown, it's sort of like, is there a Switch version coming? I wonder whether it might be a later thing that they do potentially, because I'm not sure if there's an Xbox and PC sort of agreement for the initial release. I don't know, but it definitely would fit well for the Switch, I believe. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so there have been a lot of cool looking games in there, no doubt. I was really surprised why they took it out of the main show, because usually the idea at Xbox program is a real good marketing thing they do. They have had it in every E3 show.
That's why I was shocked.
Started.
Yeah.
So I wonder why they took it out.
Pip,
I would
like,
have been cool with it if they have a dedicated event just for the indies. I mean, during these times, why not make a 30-minute Eddie at Xbox stream at some point?
yeah, well, they've been there. That would be cool. But they've been doing these showcases, but they don't only just pop them up on their channel. They don't really get like they don't really get shouted out about much.
Yeah.
They have had they're like, I forget what they called them, like Spotlight, I think they're called, like, but if you look on there is actually an Idea Xbox channel. I don't know if you knew that either, because not many people do, and it hasn't got that many subscribers, but it's actually their dedicated Idea Xbox channel, but they do upload to the main channel as well. But yeah, that might be why some people are missing it, because it's going to the Idea Xbox channel or something like that. But yes, you know, there have been these features, and then I'll just sort of like retweet them on Twitter or something, but that's not, it doesn't really get like a thing. Like, it'd be nice to have a big event where it's sort of like, this is happening on this date, kind of like the Nintendo like directs or something like that, if you see what I mean. Like, but they did start doing it a little bit. Do you remember that when they were doing something that was called that? I can't remember what it was called now, but they did start doing something a little bit. But and they do put out sort of videos which have like feature kind of like what we're looking at the moment, but they just do that sort of like periodically. So it just needs to get a bit more attention, maybe, of like being shared out on the main channel, maybe on Xbox or something.
Yeah, definitely. It needs this little marketing push to be an event. If you just drop a random video,
Yeah.
People are missing it. I mean, I missed your interview with Song of Iron, which
That's
I'm
all right.
embarrassed right now. But
Don't be at all, my friend. No, at all. No, it's
but you know,
totally cool.
it is like it is. Because especially in the last couple of months, the YouTube notifications, they are absolutely acting weird, and there's just so much
Yeah.
content out there. It's so easy to miss things. So you need this event character to highlight these kind of games, and I think they most certainly deserve that kind of spotlight.
Yeah.
And not in the Jeff Keighley pre-show.
Yeah, where it's surrounded by content creators who don't even want to be there. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just slack, wasn't it? You know what I mean? But like in contrast, I mean, they're obviously doing an awesome job, but you know, they could always do better. And in comparison to kind of like the way, sort of like it's called the Indie World Showcase now with the Nintendo thing. It used to be called Nindies Direct. I'm just going to pull that back. It used to be called the Nindies Direct, I believe, and now it's called the Indie World Showcase, the Nintendo version of the indie focused stuff. They always seem to get a lot of attention on those, and they won't even announce it that far ahead, like a few days ahead, and then seem to get a lot of people in there. So there's something slightly different in the marketing approach, which could be tweaked, but there we go. Just quickly, I was going to shout out a few guys in the chat have just popped in. Thank you very much for popping in, guys. Everyone who's here with us, still staying with us, it's really appreciated. Great to see you, Infinite and Hazardor. Great to see you, brother. And Matt Burns, sorry, I've done it wrong again. Matt Burns. Apologise, my friend. Got to get your name right. Great to see all you guys. It's awesome. And yeah, so was there any other sort of games what would you say your sort of like most standout game was from the Idea Xbox showing? Would you have a sort of most favorite sort of from the showcase, or?
A couple of them were good, but I think The Ascent and Song of Iron, those are the two that really stood out to me.
Yeah, no, that's great. How about you guys? What would you say your sort of most anticipated from the list were?
For me, has to be 12 minutes.
Nice.
It looks so interesting, and I just can't wait to play it.
Good choice. Yeah, that's looking good for sure. I think they're doing full motion capture and voice acting on that. So at the moment, that's what they're doing, the voice acting, I believe. So coming up, I think that one could be quite soon potentially. And that's being published by Annapurna, I believe. So that's a good pedigree. You know, if you're associated with Annapurna, they usually do great story-based games. So I think it will be a good one. How about you, Coop? What would you say your highlight was from the showing?
Probably the Falconeer. That's I just can't wait. We've been sorely, like, Crimson Skies.
Yeah,
Love that. Just love that type of game. Missed it. We haven't had a good proper one for a long time. I
pick,
hope
my
for that
friend,
one.
yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's looking super interesting. And it's quite funny what the Song of Iron dev said about that, because he's spoken to the developer of Falconeer, it's Thomas Saller, I believe the Falconeer developer is called. He was saying because it's got no textures in the game, and it's only like the file for the actual game is only like 40 megs or something, he said, which is craziness. It's because of like all the textures, which I know he was like wondering if people are going to think it's a real game. I think you probably heard that if you watched it, but it's so funny. I think like it just shows that there's no like sort of like rigid way that you have to sort of follow rules, if you see what I mean. I think it's so cool that he's taken his own route. He's decided to go down that sort of like textureless route, if you see what I mean, with that kind of like not really low poly, but it's kind of like just a distinct look to it, and the lighting and everything looks beautiful in that game for sure. So you're a fan of those kind of like those air combat games, like, because they are quite there is a gap for those at the moment, isn't there, for sure?
It has been for a long time.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Definitely.
Looks fantastic.
Good stuff, buddy. Good stuff. Yeah, so let me know, guys, in the chat what you've sort of stood out to you. What was your favourites from the ID Xbox showing? There was, of course, a couple other games which got shown, but the one that stood out to me in the main show was, personally, I thought the Gunk looked really cool, and that's coming from the developers of the SteamWorld games. So very excited for that myself. As the
Dusk Falls, this stood out to me.
That looks cool
really
too.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that stood out to Tom. I think he mentioned that to me. Yeah, that looks...
that was one of my top 5 on my article at bg4ghub.com.
Love a little plug there. Yeah, check it out, guys.
Sorry, I had to.
No problem at all. That's totally fine. That's what you're here to do. Check out the links in the description for all guys' channels, etc. But yeah, no, they both look cool. I really like the look of the Gunk and the world, and just the fact that it's coming from the SteamWorld devs as well, because I really like this. Like SteamWorld Dig is a really cool game. I enjoy that game. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, how did you guys feel about the main show? Any takeaways from that from indie side of things? How about yourself, Archimedes?
Yeah, well, I would. There were a couple of them in there that were really highlighted. I was a little bit surprised because if you decide to take the indie sizzle reel out of the main show, why highlight?
Yeah, so you're going with
that. So it took away a little bit of the pacing. I think, and it should have been more a complete package with all the other indie announcements there.
That's true. Yeah,
but again. Some of them really look cool. I mean, there were some. I don't know if games like, for instance, the Stalker 2 or something like that falls under indie, because they have they are not independent, but they have a very small publisher. So
sure. Yeah. Who was that? Sorry for this. Which game was that? Sorry.
Stalker 2.
Oh, okay, cool. I've not actually looked into that too much. But they're a small team, are they? With a
it depends on how you see it, but these kind of games definitely look cool. I mean, it's always a little bit the thing that if you have these kind of announcements in between Avowed and Fable.
That's the thing we were discussing actually previous. When we were talking about the predictions, I think it's kind of like whether it should be in there, and it's funny. Like you said something earlier, which I was going to say about, and I totally forgot, which was when you said about the idea Xbox not being in the main show. I wonder if that's anything to do with the kind of fan pressure, if you see what I mean, and the outside pressures of make it a sort of AAA event, if you see what I mean. I think they probably would have usually put it in, because of E3, they usually have the idea Xbox reel in the middle of their E3 showcase. So I don't see what the difference really would have been for this. It's quite strange that it wasn't there, and I think they were pressured actually away from doing it because of all of what's been going on, like saying there's people saying must be a big AAA event, you know what I mean? Like, which is a shame, but
Night of mic drops.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Exactly, yeah. But
we talked about that last time with FC when I was mentioning the deer game, and that was the focus of the other, it was like took away from the, I don't know. I mean, I don't agree that it should have, but that was what everybody was talking about.
Yeah, like FC thought it, shout out to FC Violent, he thought potentially it was out of place in there, but I feel like them being in there is a good thing. It's games are games at the end of the day, and it's sort of, they should be treated on the same playing field. But I understand the pressures that they must have had for this particular event, but I still feel like it's part of their legacy almost now that they're good with the indies, so just don't neglect what you've been doing so well, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's kind of an ongoing question, isn't it, actually? It seems to be every show it kind of comes up as, should indies be like mixed in with AAAs? And I think you're believing that they should be in there, aren't you, Coop? Is that right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Some of the best games ever.
That's why you're that's why you're my indie brother. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, it should be treated on the same playing field, but it's just a tricky one. I'd be interested to hear what you other guys think about that, because I thought Coop would be on the get them in there, show the indies. But did you think they should have been in on this event? How about Tom first?
Main show.
In the main show, do you feel like indies should always have a presence and they should always be treated on the same playing field without segregation?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, again, there's a massive fan base and massive amount of people wanting to play and playing indie games. I mean, look, okay, they can be a lot better than most AAA titles because there's passion in there, and the gamers themselves are passionate. Well, the majority of them are passionate. Some of them are. I'm trying to find a word to describe a bunch of idiots without saying a swear word, but yeah, the console wars type thing. Those ones.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, then there's those types of gamers. But no, I think that they should be on the same platform as them because they deliver.
They do.
They deliver. They all deliver. I mean, of course, we do. This is like
obviously, there's some which don't. We have to acknowledge that, which But
yeah. But 9 times out of 10, these indie games, they always leave people either wanting more or they give them a good taste in their mouth and everything like that. But indie games are just as important as AAA and AA and all those other types of stuff. They are important, and they need that same marketing from Xbox. They need it because they deserve it.
Definitely, yeah, that's my feeling. And so, for example, as a very specific question, Way to the Woods, you would have still had that in the E3 conference of 2019, I believe it was. So you would have still had that in there.
Of course,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
On.
I feel like I'm targeting FC right now, so if he's watching this, I'm not targeting you, brother. It's just, totally fair to have your own opinion on things and everything. How about yourself, Archimedes, to round this one up? How do you feel about this?
Oh, I think they definitely should be in there because the indie games, they really deserve the spotlight, but they will never get it if they are not riding on the enthusiasm of the AAA games. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So people tune in for Fable and Halo and so on. But if they see it in that show, that Falconeer, just seeing it right now,
it looks lovely,
or
doesn't it?
Tunic or Song of Iron. Wow, that looks cool. I might check that out. Yeah. They would probably, a lot of people wouldn't otherwise check out these ID at Xbox advertisements and trailers, and this way they can really ride on that wave of the AAA and get a little bit of attention, which they definitely deserve.
Definitely, well said, my friend. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense to me. I think it's good to get diversity in there. As I say, games are games, and it's AAA isn't the mark of quality. I'll keep repeating that, but that's how I feel. I feel like I love indie games because they come from a passionate place, and the vision is carried through, and there's no sort of like muddying the waters when there's big teams and stuff like that. But that's a whole other discussion to get into. But I'm glad to hear you guys agree on that. Obviously, you're entitled to feel how you feel, but yeah, it's good to hear that like there's some people out there who feel like indie should be mixed in with the rest of everyone and in pride of place. So good stuff, guys. Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to say about the showcase? The Xbox Games Showcase at all, and related to indie stuff that went on with that, or you want to move on from there?
I'm good if everyone else is.
Good. I'm good too.
Stuff.
We didn't. It was in the pre-show. I don't know if it's. I mean, Square Enix. I don't know if it's an indie title, but Balan Wonderworld. What did you guys think of that?
But which one was that? I totally
I'm trying
can't
to
remember that for some reason.
It was from the makers of Sega.
The one that's from Like Knights. Is that the one that's Like Knights? No.
No, it looked like a 3D platformer with a lot of musical stuff in it. A Japanese game.
I mean, the announcers on the pre-show were kind of overhyping it quite a bit, but
yeah,
I actually watched it back a couple times, and that game looks pretty legit. It looks really good.
It might be the one. It might be the one. Do you remember Nights into Dreams, the game back in the day? Is it the one that's like that? Mike will know. If he's still there. Let me have a look quickly.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. Do you remember back on the? I think it was on the Saturn.
Yeah.
I just thought it looked pretty. I watched it, even watching it back because it was kind of funny in the moment, because they showed the trailer and the presenters in the pre-show just kind of went nuts. Great. Well, I don't know about that. But then after I watched it back a couple times and yet just kind of leave their stuff out of it and just watch the actual game, it looked. I don't know. I love the 3D platformer, so I thought it looked really
nice.
Fun.
Yeah, I do love a bit of 3D platforming action for sure. Yeah, I have a think it might be that game. I'll have to look it up in a bit. But yeah, no, that's cool. Like, there are some cool platforms there. Did you check out, just totally going off the rails, but did you check out the Ukulele, The Impossible Lair? That's not 3D. It's sort of side on like Donkey Kong Country. Did you ever check that out, Coop, at all?
Yes, I did.
You checked it out. Oh, nice.
And I have to say, it looks like absolutely 100% my game. But it wasn't. I was coming. No, it wasn't, because I was coming right off of Hollow Knight.
Oh, nice, my man. Speaking my language now.
Hollow Knight is so good.
Oh my god!
Especially the controls, they are so on point.
I knew you were going to be a good guest. You just said the eternal thing will make me happy forever, that you love Hollow Knight. That's
definitely.
Let's go. Yeah, they are very tight controls on Hollow Knight, aren't they?
Yes, and Impossible Lair, it was. The controls just felt off. They were so not on point.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
It wasn't for me, so
it's actually in my backlog, to be honest with you. But I was just wondering, because it's got that kind of like feel to it, and but yeah, it's something I'm going to be getting around to at some point. But yeah, that's a bit of a shame, but because I thought it looked kind of cool, and I like that Donkey Kong sort of side-on thing which is going on with it, but yeah, that's a shame. Anyway, let's get back on track, man. I'm deviating too much. But yeah, just a couple of quick, one quick, we won't spend too long on this particular one, but obviously recently Cuphead was announced to be going to PS4. Actually, it's already out on PS4 now, I believe, which was kind of cool. Yes, unfortunately, it wasn't the DLC announcement that I was hoping for, and I'm sure many people were hoping that it was going to be the DLC as well that was dropped. A lot of people got wind of this announcement ahead of time, that it was going to be Cuphead. I think a lot of people knew it was going to be Cuphead, but yeah, it was a shame it wasn't DLC, but it was cool that it's now available to a wider audience again. Cuphead is awesome. I've got no qualms with it going to PS4. I know some people who like to align with certain boxes. They might be a little bit sad about it going across. I don't think isn't that the thing is some people think, you know, MDHR and Cuphead are sort of an Xbox franchise when they're not at all. They're just an independent studio. They self-publish Cuphead as well. That's completely all themselves. So there's absolutely no reason at all why it would go over to, you know, PS4 as well, you know, like it did on Switch the year before. So yeah, just I think it's cool that it has. Yeah, so what did you guys think of the announcement? I mean, it was going over to PS4, but the other thing was that it is not the DLC, which is a shame, and it seems to be a little bit delayed. Personally, I think it's because of the TV show that they're working on, but what do you guys feel about the whole Cuphead situation with DLC, the TV series, and it getting spread out to a wider audience on the PS4? Maybe we start with Coop.
Well, more people getting to play more games is never a bad thing. I don't understand the whole, you know, I mean, exclusivity is going to always be a thing with the consoles and all this, you know, and first party exclusives, whatever, that's fine. But these, you know, third party, smaller titles, indie games like this, man, they should absolutely, I want to play Cuphead on my phone.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. We'll play Cuphead on the toilet, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, this is just silly, just silliness.
There is silliness, yeah.
Silliness, so.
Console wars always are silly.
They are. It's a shame, isn't
very
it?
true.
But yeah, what do you make of the DLC situation? I mean, like, it was.
Well,
go on.
Online co-op.
You want online co-op? Yeah, interesting.
Oh, now that will be good.
Yeah, that's funny that they haven't integrated that actually, isn't it? Yeah.
And yeah, it's never happened. It's kind of not even getting talked about. I mean, DLC would be great, but I want to be able to play. I mean, you know, most of my friends are in other countries.
Yeah.
Parts of the
we're doing proper international today. We're going 3 nations.
Yeah. Jump in there and play with you guys. The co-op on that is just fantastic, but I hardly ever get to try it because, you know, I'm lonely.
Oh. Never with us as your friends. So. We've got some cool games coming up. One game in particular, which we'll talk about in a minute, which is going to be a lot of fun to play multiplayer. But yeah, we're gonna have to get some that multiplayer gaming action going, I think. But yeah, I mean, the thing is with Cuphead DLC is most people are still trying to finish the first game. It's so rock solid, isn't it? But yeah, it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see it. I mean, like I was thinking, like a couple of other people, quite a few other people were thinking it might have turned into a sequel, but that was kind of squashed when. In the reveal for the PS4 thing, they were talked about the fact that Miss Chalice can go back into the main game and play the levels you've already played. So it's kind of put a stop to the fact that it's going to be a sequel. I would say it's probably going to be that it's a it still is a DLC, but it's just, you know, I think they are very perfectionist, but you know, their art is so intricate, it's going to take a long time. I do personally feel like they've put it slightly towards the back burner with the focus on the TV series, because it feels like that was the focus of this reveal, and obviously the PS4 being confirmed, which was cool. But yeah, what are you excited for the TV series, or you'd rather just keep it to the gaming?
I'm intrigued.
Intrigued, yeah.
I'm intrigued. You know, I mean, it could go either two ways. It can either go absolutely hilarious, or it could just be awkward. And that's me, and that's just me and TV in general.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. I mean, for me with the PlayStation 4, anyone who has a problem with it has a problem themselves. But nah. I mean, it's probably a bit late, I suppose, but there may be some reasons that we don't know why it's not on the PlayStation. But no. I'm happy for it. I mean, I've already got it for the Switch, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Many a times, I've nearly snapped my Switch in half.
Yeah, so you're playing on Switch, are you? Nice.
I do. It's something that I like to do when I'm on the train down to my parents.
Nice.
But, in regards to the DLC, I haven't got a problem with waiting any period length of time. This is with anything: game, DLC, television show. As long as all these delays are for something, and if the content they bring is magnificent. I haven't got a problem waiting for it.
Exactly. I think that's how I feel too. Is, let them do what they want to do with it. Make it as perfect as they want to make it and all that. I think that's ultimately what we want. We would rather wait for something awesome than have something hard, like quicker but broken, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's good stuff, my friend. And how about yourself, Archimedes? How do you feel about this whole sort of Cuphead, the PS4 going over to there, and the TV situation and the DLC?
Well, I'm happy for those who didn't get the chance to play it yet. I bought the game twice, once on the Xbox, once on the Switch. I only beat it on the
Nice.
Switch, not on the Xbox.
You've actually beaten it though. That's very good. Nice work.
So I would love to have that DLC, definitely, but like you guys said, they should take the time, make it good. It's not that we have not enough games to play.
It's
So,
definitely
Very true.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, the TV series, well, if it's good, of course. I mean, the thing is, we rarely get good TV shows or movies out of video games.
yeah.
Most
That's
of
true.
them are not as good as we would like them to be. So, yeah, let's see how it'll turn out. But I'll definitely give it a watch because the humor in the game was awesome. The art style, definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's coming to Netflix as
I'm-
well, I believe. So if you've got Netflix, I think that's where it's going to be presented, which is kind of cool. Obviously, it's not as intricate as the actual game. They say it's being done slightly different way to the actual game. So potential is that it's going to be it'll be around sooner, I would say, if you know what I mean. Because the way they do the actual game is like true to how they did the art back in the 1930s, if you see what I mean. So that's why it takes so long. They're very like careful to make sure it's true to those sort of like methods, if you see what I mean. So I believe that's why it takes so long. But yeah, patience, we'll get something gorgeous and good. And like with many games that we're waiting for, patience with Tunic, patience with The Last Night, all those good stuff, they'll be great when they come. But yeah, no, that's cool. So yeah, moving on from that one, recently, I don't know if you guys saw, but Moon Studios have signed a publishing deal with Private Division, which is kind of interesting. It's moving away from the sort of, I mean, they're working on a game at the moment which is like an action RPG, I believe, and it's quite interesting to see them move away from the Microsoft sort of I don't know, all they've got with Microsoft isn't really like a hold, but it's kind of like, I feel like they're moving away. They want to do fresh project. I feel like the Ori IP is something that they feel like they've conquered. I feel like they want to move on to something fresh and new and try and conquer that again, if you see what I mean. But yeah, it's interesting to see kind of like, because the Ori IP, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is actually owned by Microsoft. Moon Studios is an independent studio who work with the ownership of the Ori IP, if that makes sense. So people get all the time, I see on Twitter, the confusion, which is confusing. People are always like, who owns what, who owns this? I think I've got it right. I haven't, you feel free to tell me, but I believe it's Ori, the IP is owned by Microsoft, and it kind of brings up a question because Moon Studios are moving away from the Ori IP to work on this game at the moment they're working on now, and it kind of makes me interested to sort of see what you guys think, whether Microsoft would consider maybe continuing on the Ori franchise without them, because that would be the only way that they would really be able to carry on Ori at the moment, because they're going to be working on their other game and they're a very small studio, so they wouldn't have the capacity to work on multiple projects. Yeah, I feel like this as well is the reason that they haven't got kind of signed by Microsoft as a studio. I feel like they wanted to remain independent, and this is kind of how this is all sort of come about essentially. But yeah, I've rambled on a little bit about that. Well, I'm kind of interested to see what you think about the Moon Studios, what their game they're working on, what that you hope that might be. It's something different, and also whether you think Microsoft might consider continuing Ori into Ori 3 with a different studio. Who wants up first? Coop, maybe?
I hope they don't. I hope Moon's if they did, I mean, continue. I mean, hopefully we get another Ori game someday, but
yeah,
I would it would come from Moon Studios.
Yes.
I don't know what happened behind the scenes with them. I wish Microsoft would have got them a publishing deal, but
it's interesting.
They are. Private Division is Take-Two. That's Take-Two. That's a PC game.
Right, yeah.
Publishing wing. So obviously, Take-Two is about as big as it gets as far as game publishing goes.
It's kind of like their small. It's their sort of small section of their. It's like the independent section, isn't it? It's kind of like, I think who is it who's got that some of the other big studios have it as well, and they have their, like, it's called something else, and it focuses on the indie games, even though they're a big studio.
EA has the same thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's kind of like that setup. So do you think Microsoft did approach Moon at one point to try and sign them, or?
Who knows? Who knows? We could speculate all day, and who knows?
Yeah,
I would hope they did.
Yeah,
given Ori was, I would hope that they would have offered them, to become in-house kind of thing. But and I appreciate their independence. Like Moon Studios, they're like, it's like an Austrian company.
Yeah, they're Austrian. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're working from all around the globe.
That's right. Yeah.
Developers that when the first Ori came out, I read an interview, and if I remember correctly, they said in the first year of making, they have never met each other.
Wow.
So
they're
all working from home.
Yeah, it's quite amazing, really. Yeah,
around the globe.
They were prepared for this situation that's going on right now, weren't they? They were ahead of the game on that, definitely. Yeah, so they are that, but
for them, Ori has been, both games just some of my favorites of this generation. Just
me too. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
See where else they can go. I can't wait to see where that team goes, because even if they're working apart, they're doing some amazing stuff, so keep it coming.
I guess they could expand and then have another team, I suppose. It will be sad not to see another Ori, because I'm totally with you. They are Ori, Will of the Wisps and Blind Forest are some of my favorites of this generation, just as you said. They are fantastic games, and it is a shame, but because what I was reading was they feel like they've conquered the Metroidvania genre kind of thing. I think they want that sort of challenge again. They because they're saying they want to be challenged, and now to be able to conquer the RPG or whatever action RPG genre kind of thing, and revolutionize it is what I think they said. So they're obviously top of their game, so they want to really push the boundaries, which is cool, and I feel like they want a fresh challenge, so I totally get it. But maybe they'll work on that and come back to Ori or something like that. What do you think about this, Archimedes? I know you're a big fan of Ori as well.
Oh yes, I am. It's strange that in a year where we had games like Doom and The Last of Us 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and so on, I consider Ori my game of the year so far.
Oh, nice, yeah.
It's just an incredible game and an awesome experience. I'll be definitely replaying it on the Series X with 120 frames. It's just an awesome game. And
yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, 120 frames on that bad boy would be sweet.
Oh yeah. What did I think? It's always great to see such a talent, to see reach out to new things, and try something different. And I'm glad that they are doing that. I'm a little worried with Take-Two, because they have done some strange business decisions recently.
Yes, that's true.
So
but
I bet they have been approached by Microsoft. But
I think
they would have stayed with Microsoft, they would always have been the Ori studio.
That's right. Yeah, there'll be the Ori machine, and they wanted to do something fresh. That's what I was feeling. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Microsoft would have forced them to do another Ori or something like that, but they have that brand now attached to their name, and I think they wanted to move on from that, which is good for them. I don't know if I am happy, because I would really love Ori 3, of course.
Yeah.
And I can't see how anyone else can do it. This game is just so unique, and you can see in everything the passion of the few developers. I mean, they are only, I don't know, I think 10 or 12 people or something.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? The fact that, I mean, like again, like Ori and, you know, Team Cherry are even smaller than them. Those two games, I always have to get Hollow Knight mentioned in there somewhere, because I love Hollow Knight so much. But yeah, those two games are truly amazing for me.
Yeah, they are. I absolutely agree. And the music alone, nobody else would be able to compose that kind of track. It has just so much uniqueness to it that it will be difficult for another developer to pick that IP up. So yeah, maybe we get, after the action RPG, another Ori, but it will definitely be a while.
Yeah, no, that's awesome response to that. I think definitely would agree with that, and it's a shame, but you get it. I think I get it from some studios so creative who love to keep on the the sort of curve and on the cutting edge of what they're doing, if you see what I mean. I like to be challenged, but I definitely agree with you on the point where you said about if they stayed with Microsoft's situation, Microsoft would have just got them to keep doing Oris, because that's obviously worked and it's making them money. I do feel like that's, the incentive for what's happened essentially. But yeah, how about yourself, Tom? What do you reckon?
I don't think I could really add too much more, other than I agree with all of you. And I think it is a case of, we've done 2 Ori games. They do have that label of the Ori guys, and they probably just wanted to branch out and try something new, and no one can blame them for it, whether they were approached by Microsoft to be a part of the system, the machine. I mean, we probably won't know, but I can't blame them for wanting to branch out and say to the community, hey, look, we're not just the Ori guys. We can do this. And I look forward to see what they come up with. And in regards to if another team can do another Ori game, I don't think anybody would want to attempt it. It has a certain magic to it that I don't think anyone would want to try and replicate that.
I think
I agree.
Yeah. It's just... it's beautifully done, isn't it? It would be a dangerous thing to attempt for sure. But sorry, what have I done there? I pulled that over sorry, I'm making a mess of the stream. Just prepping myself for it a little bit's time. But yeah, no, I love Ori to bits, but I totally get it. And yeah, great takes again, Tom. Everyone, really good takes on that. Do you have any sort of I mean, nobody does at the moment. I suppose it's probably best to leave that one. But I was going to say, do you have any sort of hopes or expectations of what you hope it might be, the new game that they're working on? I feel like it's going to be something very different. Anyone got anything?
I don't know. I mean, when it comes, I don't really like to speculate too much, just in case I'm completely wrong. And then, I always like to think I have an open mind, and I'll never be disappointed.
Good idea. Yeah.
If I think it's going to be one thing and they come up with something which is different, then I'm probably not going to show it, but deep down I might be like, no, not what I was expecting. Yeah,
that is a good shout. And they might come out with something completely from left field, completely fresh, and it might be something. I'm sure it will be something amazing, but. Yeah, we won't. I'm sure we'll still think of Ori with great affection, but something fresh and new that's awesome could be truly special too. So it'll be interesting to see what that's going to be. But so unfortunately, Fastback still hasn't arrived. I was going to hope he was here for this particular topic, because I know he's played. A bit of Carrion. So yeah, we were going to move on from there. We're going to talk about a bit of Carrion. If any of you guys have played it in the chat, anyone's played it on the stream. I know Thomas played it, I believe, and Coop. So that's one good thing, and I've played some too. But yeah, recently, Carrion from Phobia Studio and published by Devolver got dropped into Game Pass very nicely indeed on the 23rd, I believe it was, on the same day as the Xbox event. Yeah, I think it's been going down pretty well from what I can tell. I've played some, as I say, and we're going to dive into a bit of impressions on of what we've played so far. And I don't think the game is a massively long game in total anyway, so we're going to keep it quite spoiler free. Not that there's massive great big spoilers in there like some games, but yeah, we're just going to go and give some impressions and hopefully a rounded opinion from a different three of us, or maybe, I'm not sure how many you have played, so 3 or 4, and give the impressions on Carrion. So yeah, maybe if we start with Coop on this one, because I have a feeling he knows a bit about the old Carrion. He was craving that Carrion goodness up to the date of release. I know he was, so I think he's jumped on there. What have you been thinking about it, buddy? How have you felt about Carrion so far?
I love it.
Awesome.
Before I got to play the demo at PAX West last year, and that was one of the surprises of the show for me. It was just that new, what do they call it, reverse horror.
Yeah,
Just a fun, kind of, rolling around. It's real simple, approachable game. You're tearing up people, but there is some kind of combat trickiness to it. You got to be careful with some. Pretty quick in that game.
Yeah, you do get taken down if you're not careful, don't you?
Yeah. So I'm just getting. I've only unlocked. I've only had a chance to play a couple hours this week, so I haven't finished it or anything yet.
Yep.
Unlocked a couple of the new abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
The demo was pretty short. You have like one area, kind of like the opening area of the game, and that was it. So
Right.
I didn't really get into any of the new abilities. So yeah, it's kind of fun. Kind of a simple puzzler. At least the ones that I've come across so far. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I've enjoyed the puzzles. It's ton of fun. I think it's better than I thought. You know how I said I was worried about the mechanics. I was concerned about how it's gonna feel it, but that's, in my opinion, how it feels is one of the best things about it. It just flows lovely, doesn't it?
That's what's great when I first played it. It's like, I'm moving around and just, it's real. So I think this is a game just almost anybody can play and just have fun with, and it's pretty intuitive. The right stick stuff is a little, it takes some getting used to. That was some of the one, where you got to grab things. It's something a little awkward, but. Once you kind of get down the road,
yeah,
it's great.
Definitely. Hold you 1 second. Sorry, got a technical issue here. The others just said gameplay is too loud. I didn't know there was actually any gameplay coming through. Is there gameplay coming through right now? Sound? Shouldn't be.
Yeah, there is.
Is there? You monitoring?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, buddy. I should be having you.
Great gameplay sound, by the way. Crunching it.
Oh, the sound is one of the best things. Yeah, right. I'm gonna sort this so we can. What I might have to do is. Okay. Yeah. Are you monitoring at the moment, Tom?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. There's still a bit there.
Is it stopped now that I've changed it? Turn it off. Sorry about this, guys. I'll be with you. We'll sort this out in 1 second. Second episode, teething issues. I might have to do is play it on a...
I can't hear it now.
Sorry about this. I want to make sure we got some gameplay there.
Sorry, I just have to give you a quick heads up, gents, and everyone in the chat, that once I quickly do this little bit of Carrion thing, I'm going to have to head off.
Okay, buddy. That's fine, no problem.
No, but it's been a fun show so far, so I thank you very much for having me. I hope I haven't been a disappointment for you.
Definitely not.
It's been a pleasure with you.
As well as you, Coop.
You too, Tom. It's been a pleasure. Great crew.
And then, whilst Indy's sorting out the backsides of things, I'll
Backside, sorry, on my backside.
I just said backsides, the background side of things. Wow. I'll quickly just I'll quickly run through my little notes of it.
Do your bits, and then yeah, that's cool.
Okie dokie. I don't know about you, but as soon as I started playing, I had a massive adrenaline rush. I don't know why. I just started playing it, and it was like, whoa, okay, this is going to be one hell of a ride. And it was fast paced, to say the least. And is it me? But the atmosphere just really notched it up a level. So I can hear myself now. There we go. It really brought it up a level, and it was just phenomenal. I was a bit concerned about the controls going into this because I didn't because I thought I would have to put completely going in blind. I thought I would have to use the right stick in order to attach myself to the walls and swing over things and everything. But it was pretty fluent. It was pretty easy to go from platform to platform, go over gaps and go up into the vents and everything. Completely flawless. I was just taken back by how smooth and everything was. The maps itself was vast, but it was broken up into small little areas themselves. Phenomenal. And my God, the humans shooting me. I wasn't expecting them to be that powerful. A few times I died because I just completely went in completely blind, just completely thinking I was this almighty monster thing. And then lo and behold, I got myself shot and killed within 3 shots by some dude. So it took me off guard on that. The puzzle side of things, I really enjoyed. Nothing too tricky. Pretty simple. But I haven't played the whole game though. I've only played little bits of it. But the sound as well, they really complement the atmosphere. Like the music, really eerie and striking at times, which again, brilliant for this type of game. And also, which also intrigued me about this game was the fact that it was completely different. I know you could play the evil villain in other games as well, but for some reason this was a bit different. It was phenomenal for me. And going back to the sounds, the bone crunching and the screams, my God, it was just chilling. It was ridiculously chilling, and I had a shiver down my spine. And the first flashback sequence where you play as the human, I mean, that had me a little bit intrigued. Because I was going to play this game further on. Just by the sheer badassery of being this creature alone. But then it came into the flashback sequence where you're playing the guy going through the actual place itself. It added a level of intrigue for me, which was not particularly there beforehand. But that was pretty much all my notes for Carrion. A great game. I look forward to playing more. And it phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Awesome review. Book it in.
Thank you ever so much. Makes me want to play it now.
Yeah. I finally got it up. I think that should be okay now.
Brilliant.
Could you just monitor that for 1 second, just if you mind, as you had it up?
Yep. Okay.
Thank you. No, I loved your takes on that. The passion was definitely there, my friend, and it does have that adrenaline fueled action. I think I just loved.
By the way,
it's sorry.
It's good.
It's good. Thank you, Tom. Really appreciate that.
Right.
I really enjoyed it myself. It's like I say, I just love making the humans scream, to be honest.
It's a brilliant game, and thank you ever so much for having me, Indy. I've really enjoyed it. I'm sorry I'm not here for the whole show.
No problem, buddy.
But enjoy the rest of the show, guys. Thank you ever so much for having me. Everyone in the chat, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Archimedes, Coop as well, and of course, Indy once again.
Thank you.
For more stuff like my rapid review right there, more in depth as well, and written based mostly, head on over to www.bg4ghub.com. And there's not just me. There was a bunch of other people as well who do reviews there. News items, opinion pieces. There's quite a bit there on the website. So if you have 5 minutes, please check it out. Thank you ever so much. And to the guys and to the chat, had a blast. I'd love to do this again. And I will see you very soon.
Cheers, Tom. No, it's been awesome. Thanks so much for coming on, my friend. Definitely give Tom a follow and, check out BG4G Hub. It's been awesome. Take care, Tom.
Bye.
He's off. The train's going. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. Totally made a mess of that. I don't know why the audio was coming through, and I wasn't really sure how to shut it down, but I've done it, and I've work around now, so it should be all good. I wanted to make sure you got some gameplay of early in the game. I've put together a little edit, so I wanted to make sure that was up, especially if you haven't seen it before. Looking pretty cool. I love the art style, the sort of pixel art going on is really cool. So let's go back to Coop anyway. He's had a lot of passion for Carrion on the build up to the game, and he's now played it, and let's carry on with what his thoughts were on it.
Man, I got to follow up Thom. That was...
Yeah, I know what you mean. he had the passion there.
Oh, definitely.
Everything he said, it's just fun. It's, we were talking about how games just, it's just a fun game. The controls are really fluid. And again, what he said about the combat, that surprised me, because you didn't really get that in the demo. You were just kind of dominating and, smashing everything. And
yeah, if you look at this bit on screen now, this is quite tactical. So I had to get above them, and then I had to wait for those like things where they electrocute you or whatever they do, and so you have to sort of get behind them and stuff. Yeah.
And they can take you out quick. I mean, you go down fast.
I love the way you can just be like hiding and then pounce on them, and you can go up to quite a small ball even though you're quite big. As you go in the game, you like get bigger, obviously. I think it's very nicely done, actually. Yeah. So the demo, did you become quite big in the demo what you played, or were you smaller size at that point?
Demo was very short.
Very short, yeah.
It was just almost just the mechanics. I mean, you had one little area that was just kind of locked around. You just kind of floated around. You could eat. They had a few, people to eat, and that was about it. It was, it was just enough to go, man, I want to play more.
Just to whet your appetite, no pun intended. Yeah, I know what you mean. It definitely got you hooked, though. And so would you say it lives up to your expectations?
Oh, it surpassed. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, I said, I knew the mechanic wise, because again, I played through it. I sat there because I was surprised, because they had like those kiosks where there's like, like a tower, and they have four, and they had one, I think that was maybe playing on an Xbox or something. It had, and then they had one with a mouse and keyboard. And so they had like different kiosks playing the same game. And they had a couple, Devolver had this whole like section at PAX West there. And, but I was surprised, because there was like nobody over there. I mean, I was the only one. There was 4 stations at this kiosk, and I was the only one playing. So I played through a couple times. Wow,
yeah,
this is awesome.
Surprising.
There's nobody playing. Like, this is great.
Yeah,
and, I knew just that little taste was like, okay, day one on for sure. And then and then finding out it's coming into Game Pass.
Yeah,
just how amazing is that?
Pretty sweet, yeah, for sure. Definite, man. That's cool. So how far in do you think you are at the moment? How many hours you've played?
Man, probably not even, maybe 2 hours in or so.
Cool.
Not very far. I
think I'm about 3, maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't think it's outstays its welcome. I think it's quite a good length. I've heard it was being about 8 hours or something, maybe 7 or 8 hours or something like that. But yeah, it's just keeping it fresh, which was almost, like I say, my concern with the game was that it was going to be like one trick pony. Once you've sort of like killed a few humans, which feels pretty cool, it would like feel a bit old, but it does change it up nicely. Like this bit on here where you got that charge. Do you see? Have you got that upgrade yet on yours? Where you,
no, I don't have that one yet.
This is not too far into the game, guys, just in case you worry about spoilers. It's just a little bit I wanted to show because it was cool gameplay, that bit there. Like, it's a cool little charge thing you get where you barge through like the doors and stuff, and you can like really cause havoc. But I just feel like it's so fun being able to like just without the sound, it's not as good. Obviously, it looks still good, but the sound really does bring it to life. It's an awesome soundtrack, and the sound effects are so nicely done in it. I think it really sets it apart. Like, it brings it up a lot. So Archimedes, have you played the game out of interest, buddy? I can't remember what you said.
No,
No.
I haven't. I have it installed, but I didn't get
Cool.
a chance to play it yet.
No
I'm
worries.
just bad in playing multiple games at the same time,
Oh,
and
oh,
I'm
really?
already playing
That's-
3 games. So
That's Game Pass's fault, isn't it? Don't worry about that, buddy. Yeah, no. But yeah. So, what do you think about you up for playing it? Does it catch your attention to play and all that? You looking forward to checking it out?
oh, definitely. I mean, after hearing you guys, Tom, everyone, with the enthusiasm, I think I might have to start it right after the show.
Nice. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what
No.
you think. There's,
I've also seen a lot of very, very positive impressions on Twitter
Yeah.
of the game. Everybody seems to love it who plays
yeah,
it. So
I think didn't Luke say he's played it? I don't know. I think I saw him say on Twitter. You know, Luke Law, who you do
Yeah.
podcasts with. I think he said he played it. So yeah, like this bit here where I'm hiding, I just think it's cool. You can hide behind. He's got these like sort of bots which follow you at this point, and when you get in their light zone, they shoot at you, but you can grab them and smash them to the ground. But it's cool how you can just sort of like hide around corners and stuff. You're quite sort of like, you can just flow. I just love the flow of it. It's I think it's I'm impressed with it. I am really impressed actually. It's a sort of quite stylish kind of game as well, I think. Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot, and I'm looking forward to finishing it. To be honest, looking forward to getting stuck into the rest of it. What's up, Monkey Punch? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for popping in. It's awesome to see you, my friend. Has any of you guys in the chat played it? I think a couple of you said you had. Matt Burns, you've checked it out. Yeah, he's having a fun time with it. Infinite is going to be giving it a try. Good stuff. And Juds is playing Carrion. Very cool. Good stuff, guys. Yeah, that's cool. Good to hear you checking it out. But highly recommend you do check it out if you haven't. It's like sounds bad, but like the screams from like the humans and stuff. You know, have you ever heard them crying and stuff like that? Yeah, Coop. Like sometimes they'll cry. And
The crying, it's
it's it's so good. I love it. It's like you feel a bit nutty, but you know, I like the touches that they put in there, like sort of the scream, and then they're just like, you just feel like badass. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
And the only thing that I'm towards, it is fun. You feel like a bit naughty, but in a good way. But yeah, the only thing I've heard negative wise, and I kind of not sure how I feel about it at the moment, is the fact that it's there isn't a map involved in the game. So you don't get a map, which kind of makes sense to me in a lot of ways, because you're a ball of whatever you are. You're like insides, if you know what I mean. So I don't think much map reading goes on by one of those balls of like insides or whatever you would call it. But at the same time, I don't know. Do you feel like you're crying out for a map or anything at the moment, Coop, or do you feel like it's kind of well designed enough?
Got echolocation thing, or
you got
whatever,
echolocation, exactly. Yeah, I think that serves.
Interesting watching your gameplay, because I've unlocked skills that you haven't. Watching
Oh,
this,
right.
like you have that. I have, so I've gone a different direction.
That's cool.
In different areas, unlocked. So my progression is different than yours, and
That's
which
cool.
I think is awesome.
That is cool. No, I like that.
So,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
I mean, there's been a couple sections where you're kind of, confused as to, but again, then you go, oh yeah, I forgot that. My little echolocation.
You've got the echolocation, so
direction, and you figure out a little hole in the wall that you can get through, and
exactly,
I don't need I don't think it's that. I mean, there is sort of that, Metroidvania where you got to go back and
exactly
areas after the fact, but and I don't think the map is that huge. It doesn't feel, and from what I've sort of gleaned off of Twitter and whatnot, it sounds like the map isn't that big anyway, so it wouldn't take too long to kind of get oriented.
Exactly, yeah. That's how I feel as well. I mean, obviously we haven't finished it yet, but I feel like I think that will remain true for me as well, because it's you've got the echolocation thing. You've got it's not the massivest world in the world. Massive is that makes no sense, but it's and I guess as again, you're like you're not a human, like you haven't got map reading skills, so you're just this killing machine, if you know what I mean. So I can't imagine him reading the map and stuff, like, but if that's ever a concern. But yeah, at the same time, you know, just it's cool, just like knocking around. And so have you explored this area where I'm in at the moment, or have you gone a different route to that as well?
Different, yeah. No,
Wow.
I've gone a different route than you.
That's cool, because yeah, that's yeah, the Metroidvania thing coming in there, which is cool. I do love my Metroidvanias, and you can it's so cool. You can just pick them up, and if you didn't know, if you haven't played it, you've got the right stick. You move like a reticle around to pick people up, and then you sort of, I think it's a trigger you grab them with, and then you can just move it around to sort of smash them against the wall and stuff, and then you eat them up for your energy. So the top of the screen is your health bar, and if you eat people, you get your health back over time. So it's kind of a cool little way of doing things, I think. But yeah, otherwise, I highly recommend.
Those little kind of, you know, boxes or cages or whatever they are that block things, you can smash into people.
Yes, yeah.
Environmental, like those, you know, those little bots that you were showing, you can swing those into the other one, and
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of the, you know, the combat, you know, it seems like it's pretty straightforward, but there actually is some, you know, little tricks and tactics you can do to,
Definitely.
you know, a little more involved than you would think. And
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Like you just saw there, maybe if you were watching the chart, I just did the charge and charge both of them from behind. The charge is awesome. Once you get that, you're gonna love it. But yeah, like you can.
Shield, I guess you got to use a little bit of stealth and
Yeah,
sneak around, turn in one direction and swing around the other way.
yeah.
So yeah, having a charge, you can just, and like you said right there, being able to blow through those walls. And,
Yeah, exactly. That's how you get through the. I think it's the wooden walls. That's probably you've probably explored a different direction to me, and then yeah, it's kind of cool that I think. But yeah, for me, I highly recommend checking it out. Definitely, we won't be scoring everything. We haven't reviewed in full. Scores aren't all that helpful anyway these days. So I'll just put a double thumbs up to check it out personally, and you know. Everyone, I highly recommend it. But yeah, and I'll be interested to hear what you think about it, Archimedes, buddy, once you've checked it out too.
I will definitely let you know. So
cool, mate. That sounds good. Okay, guys. Well, we did have like one other thing, which was I don't think. I think maybe we could call it there. Maybe I don't know if you've got much more time. We've gone slightly over the 2-hour mark. So. I'll just say, I mean, I don't know. Did you want to wind it up there, guys? I'm totally cool if you do.
You're the boss.
Okay, well, I will do a quick sort of just mention. Then we won't go into detail. Well, we'd go a bit more detail. But the final thing was basically the fact that Fall Guys is coming out on the 4th of August, which is a really cool looking like multiplayer game, which is essentially it's a battle royale, but don't let that scare you off. It's a pure fun battle royale game. You've probably seen it. It's trending at the moment, which is fantastic to see. It's got up the I think it got to #1 for a split second on Twitch when they were doing the betas. I've played the beta myself, which was super fun. But yeah, just want to like mention a bit of Fall Guys action. Shame Tom's just gone actually, because I know he's really excited for it too. But let me just get rid of that. Yeah, I was interested to know you look. I know you are, but are you looking forward to it, Coop? Are you looking forward to a bit of Fall Guys action?
Oh, I pre-ordered it weeks ago. I'm ready. I got the collector edition. Awesome. I don't know what that means. Steam, some outfit. But.
I think you get the what's it called, the foreman, don't you? Whatever his name is. But yeah, what's the name of that game back in the day? Oh god, I forget. You get a special outfit anyway, don't you? Yeah, but which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's coming out on Steam, and it's been confirmed for PlayStation Plus as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna try it. I've got a bit lost here. There we go. Yeah, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think you've pre-ordered it for Steam, have you? You say?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, I have PlayStation Plus as well.
Oh, do you? Nice.
There. Anywhere anybody wants to play it, hit me up.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited. It's a battle royale game, so as many people in as possible is the best way. So hopefully we can get a good bunch of us together. I'm just going to get a trailer up quickly. Have you heard about Fall Guys, Archimedes? Have you heard of the game?
I've heard about it. It's not for me.
Oh, really? No way.
I'm not that big into the battle royale genre, and I have to admit that there's just too much other stuff I want to play right now. So
That's fair enough, my friend. No worries. Let me just pull it up quickly so we can show something. I mean, I'm not usually a battle royale guy myself, I have to say, but it's just kind of one of those things that, it's just pure fun, and that's kind of it just
battle royale. I mean, it is last man standing, but it's
not exactly a battle royale. It's just kind of it falls under that technically, if you know what I mean.
Luck in that game. I mean, it's not really. I don't think there's a whole lot of tactics involved. It looks like just a fun Saturday night party game. Just jump online with a bunch of friends in a big party chat, and hopefully we'll see. There better be some sort of party system that we can get in. And
I mean, what did I hear the other day? I forget what they said now. Yeah, I think that's gonna. It's like we said, that's gonna sort of like make or break the kind of situation. But yeah, I've got it on the screen now in case you haven't checked it out. But Fall Guys, it's looking fun. I mean, I've played the beta, and I had such a blast. It's one of those games where it most definitely is a lot of luck involved in the game, but there is definitely elements of skill when you've learnt the games that you play, and how to sort of approach them differently. If we can try and sell Archimedes on it, maybe just right now, I'll be happy. But if not, no problem. I mean, it's kind of basically it's like the matches I played, they were like 60 plus, so 60 to 100 I think it is, and you just start off and you're whittled down through each stage. So the first one, you'll play a certain round where you'll just have to run through the assault course, and it'll be like the first 20 who get through. No, actually they cut off the end 20 or whatever it is, so the people who didn't, so it'll be the first 40 go through out of 60, say, and then you go through another round, and then you could do something different, and you cut off another bit, so it's like a whittle down each time, so you do get a good shot at it. But yeah, there's I'm just gonna restart that, sorry. You got that, and then there's also these team games as well, which are really fun, which some of them were like collect the eggs and put it into your own basket, and there's like 3 teams of like blue, red and green colours, and you have to collect them for your team. And there's that football one that you just saw on there, we have to try and get it in their goal, and then you sort of get eliminated as a team. But it's just, like I say, pure fun, and there are some quite cool little things you can do. It's very simple, but you can grab hold of other people as well, which is like kind of sketchy, which is good. Like, you can slow them down, but you're also slowing yourself down. At one point I was running alongside another person like right next to the edge, and I could have easily knocked them off, but I felt like I'd been a good boy, and I didn't. Because the thing is, you start getting into a tussle with people, you only get yourself knocked down too. But I just feel like it's a good fun game. I didn't win one, but I got into the final round one time, and it's just super cool fun, I think. And you can do this thing where you can jump, and you can do this dive as well. So there's like jump, dive, and then there's grab the other people and pick up something if you're doing pick up the eggs and put it in the basket kind of thing. There's some cool games. They've really like done well on the games they're going to do. Cool customization as well for fun stuff, like this bit here where you've got the walls there. Obviously you run into it, and there is a bit of skill involved there, like on knowing the courses, because like you can hold back on those ones, wait for someone else to bash into the one that doesn't open, and then if you can see someone's gone through the right one, then you know which one you're going to go through. So there's a bit of tactical stuff as well as the luck. But yeah, I'm really up for it. It's just a light-hearted craziness, you know what I mean? Have we sold you yet, Archimedes? He's walked off.
Well,
he's outraged.
I forgot to unmute.
He's swearing about how bad it is.
No. I think this would be the perfect game for Game Pass. You see,
Yeah, exactly.
where you just can give it a go and try it out for yourself. Would be great.
It would, yeah. I think that's why they've gone down, because it's actually not coming to Xbox at the moment, but they've done it on PlayStation Plus. So I think that's their thinking, is the same as what you just said, essentially. But now they've made it available to everyone on PlayStation. So that is pretty cool, and that's going to get the numbers up. So that's what they need, isn't it? But it's actually trending like mad at the moment, this game. So I think the numbers are going to be good. So we should be in for a little bit of a treat. So anyone in the chat going to be checking out Fall Guys, let me know and tell me what you think about it. Am I mad for loving such a colourful, crazy game? I think not. But yeah, anyway guys, just to, like I say, it's good to have a little, put the old Fall Guys in at the end there. It's out on the 4th of August, so jump in and enjoy. But it's been absolutely awesome today. We've only got 3 of us left by the end of it. So Fastback couldn't make it, and Tom's off, so thanks for staying. These soldiers have soldiered till the end. But yeah, it's been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much everyone who's come and watched this show and enjoyed the indie goodness. As I always say, it's a pleasure to be able to talk indie games with everyone in this community, and just share the love for them, really. Thank you, all the guys in the chat who've shown up. Shout out to AP Cool J. I didn't see you in there earlier, my friend. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, like I say, it really does mean the world for you guys to come and watch the show. I'm still learning very much, so it's only the second show, so I apologize for the technical difficulties today with the sound and etc. It will be worked upon to make it a smoother ride and more professional ride on my part. But yeah, definitely working on that each time.
You did great. I've seen a lot of podcasters with a lot bigger numbers doing a lot worse, so you're doing good.
Well, thank you, my friend. I do really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on today, Archimedes. We've chatted a lot over how long you've been around in the community. You've grown like mad. You've got a massive following on Twitter now. Your YouTube's growing, which I'm so happy to see, because it's a fantastic channel you're running. And if you haven't subscribed to Archimedes, do definitely make sure you do that right away, because his channel and content are proper positive and it's always factual and always great content that's put together really well in a concise way, nice editing, easy to digest, and always a pleasure to watch. So I highly recommend checking him out. But thanks so much for coming on today, buddy. It's been awesome. And if you'd like to tell everyone where they can find you, and once again, thank you for coming on.
No, first of all, thanks again for having me. It's been a blast to talk games with you, especially outside of the AAAs. I talk a lot about AAAs, and it's always great to talk about the smaller games, which they are so underrated. It's incredible how few people really talk about them. I know a lot of them enjoy them, but only few talk about them. So it's been really a blast with the panel, with you, Indy. So glad we could do this today, and I hope to be back someday. I really had a blast.
Oh, that would be awesome, my friend. Would love to get you back.
Thank you. So yeah, you can check me on my channel out at Boxenberger, basically everywhere, on Twitter, YouTube, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, everywhere. On the Switch, I have a strange friend code, but just hit me up somewhere else and I'll send it to you. And yeah, definitely check out my YouTube channel. Small but growing.
Yep.
Yeah, and thanks again for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to speak to you in person, because we spoke a lot in the DMs over a long period of time, always chatting about stuff. So to be able to actually talk not face to face, it's kind of face to face. It's kind of like, in a real sense, back and forth with you in person is kind of awesome to me. So I really do think what you're doing is fantastic with the channel, and your positivity in the community is fantastic. So thanks again. And obviously my main man Coop as well. It's been awesome hanging with you again today, brother. As I said earlier on, Coop is now a regular on the show. It's an honor to have Coop by my side for hopefully every indie games podcast that you can make. Having someone who really does know his indies big time, like Coop, and an awesome guy anyway. He loves his indies, he knows his indies like the back of his hand, and also is a fantastic guy too. That means the world to me. I love all our back and forths and conversations we have, my friend. So thanks very much for accepting the invite to be a regular. And where can they find you? And you're going to say on my Scooty or something.
Come on.
Yeah.
I've said it before, but I'm honored. I really appreciate you having me on here. Love talking games with you guys. And Archimedes, great chatting with you. Thom, left us a little earlier. Great chatting with him.
Yeah.
And stoked to be here. You guys can catch me whenever we do our show. So
yeah, whenever we do our show.
Be here. Every once in a while we'll do our WDFC and with Dad, everybody. So
awesome.
Those are just kind of random whenever we feel like it kind of deal.
Sure.
But,
yeah.
Happy to be here. And like you said, if you have any interest in e-bikes or anything like that, you can check out my channel and me on my scooty.
Hell yeah, he did shout himself out. I'm glad to hear that, because Coop's always modest about shouting himself out. So definitely check out his channel. He's an awesome guy, charismatic. He doesn't like to admit that, but he's a very charismatic guy, and his videos are really good quality, excellent e-bike videos. And go on a journey with Coop on his bike. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so thanks again, brother. I love WDFC's awesome show as well. Whenever you do them, I'll always look out for that. So yeah, that's part of the NLG group. So if you did want to check those guys out too, NLG Gaming, the original NLG Gaming, check those guys out as well. But links are all in the description for everyone down below. Thanks so much for Thom as well popping in, and it was awesome to have you on, buddy. I know you had to go off earlier. We said bye anyway, but I just want to shout you out one more time. He's part of BG4GHub.com. And I'll shout out to my main man Fastback, even though he's left us in the lurch. I'm only joking, brother. He's had to attend to something else today, but he'll be back again in the future, showing his indie knowledge and his passion for positive thoughts as well. He's another positive gamer. But yeah, it would be good to see you back next time, Fastback. Thank you everyone who's been in the chat and participated to the show, because you make it alive, and it's been a pleasure to hang with you all. So thanks again, guys, and we'll be back with another Indie Games podcast around a month's time. We're on a monthly sort of schedule at the moment, but it might be just before the end of the month or something. We've got to figure out that, but keep a lookout on Twitter for those kind of announcements of when we'll be doing the next show. I'll obviously be putting up my videos on the channel. The next video will probably be the top indie games releasing in August, so check out the my channel for that. It would be massively appreciated if you would fancy subscribing. That would mean the world to me, and you can stay up to date with all the latest indie game goodness. So thanks again, guys. I will let you get away now. You've been awesome for hanging with us for so long. It's been a pleasure, and we'll catch you again real soon. Cheers again, guys.